Are you an empath, a codependent, wondering if you are a narcissist? I'm going to break these down to help you understand these dynamics. I went through a breakdown and breakthrough process, and I want to share the possibilities as to why you might be asking these questions. Welcome to the Divorce Sanctuary. I'm Elizabeth, author of Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse. I work with clients who are coming out of emotionally abusive relationships. I help them get the closure they're looking for and take them through a process and help them discover and heal the original wound. On this channel, I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing emotionally from the abuser. I want to remind you that love should be unconditional and divorcing emotionally is life-changing. I want to help you understand and process what's happening inside you and help you discover the best tools to heal on a deeper level, becoming the best version of yourself. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're returning, welcome back and thank you. And thank you all so much to my new subscribers. It's really appreciated. And that very small gesture helps others in a similar position with similar questions find the information that they're looking for. So thank you once again. Please don't forget that you can ask questions or even put tips to things that you think other people might find helpful. This isn't a diagnostic tool, and I'm not going to say that this video is for entertainment purposes only, because nothing about this behaviour is entertaining. If you've been manipulated or believe you've been manipulated, please reach out to a professional who can help you break away from the toxic relationship and help you set and keep strong boundaries. Are you an empath, a codependent, or are you wondering if you're the narcissist? So I'm going to break these down and help you understand this dynamic. As I said, I went through this breakthrough process, which was a pivotal moment in my healing. And I want to share some of the possibilities as to why you might be asking these questions. According to developmental psychology, empathy happens in stages. We're born with the capacity to be emotionally empathetic. And up until the age of around 7 or 8 years old, we live in a theta state, which is a hypnotic state. And whatever we see, we hear, we feel, we take on as the truth. We're born not knowing that we're separate from our mother or caregiver. We go through various developmental stages, one of which is around 2 years old, when, if allowed, we break away and we see ourselves as individuals. I'm here and my mother's there. A child will test these boundaries, walking away, seeing how far they can get. This is a crucial stage in their development. A child learns empathy from a young age, and they may show this by seeing another child upset and try soothing them, or a person, or finding something to distract them from the pain. This could be demonstrated by twins, so when they're born, one baby will cry and wake or alert the other. They don't know that they're separate. One might need feeding or changing, but the other one responds in the same way. And as they grow, when one twin cries, the other one realises it doesn't need attention or food, or that it is clean, so it doesn't respond. The next stage is when one of them cries, the other will reach out and give them something to soothe them. Perhaps a toy or a blanket, or just with touch. And some children go through to the next stage, which is, I hear you, I see you. I realise that you're different from me, so although this toy would soothe me, I realise you have different needs. And it might be that you need your own teddy, not mine, or your own blanket, not mine. Empathy versus empath. Empathy is to understand how something must have felt or how someone would react or be feeling. It's a knowing. I empathise with you. You may not have gone through the same trauma, but you have an understanding of how that situation has made another person feel. An empath is tuned into those feelings and those emotions of the people around them. Empaths feel what another person is feeling at a really deep emotional core level. This is more than empathy. They feel the same emotions and even the same physical pain as another person. This might be what they're feeling at the moment, or it might be past experiences. So, for example, I was teaching Reiki one day, and one of my students was on the table. We were doing a demonstration, and I could feel the trauma of her being thrown in a physically abusive relationship and hitting the wall and sliding down. Empathy is learned via maternal warmth and supportive environment and good parenting. In this scenario, I believe the empath is created through not good enough parenting, and the child learns this as a survival skill. That's my personal belief. The empath became the child who was responsible for their parents' emotional needs rather than the other way round. The child learns how to read their parents' moods. They walk on eggshells, highly attuning their ability to read situations and the energy of those around them. The empath grows up believing their self-worth is linked to saving their parent. They've experienced intermittent reinforcement. One moment they were kind, the next they changed. And this is how the empath child learnt and honed this skill. They became invisible, or they partnered that parent, catering to their every need, calming down every situation or every person around them. They learned how to read their energy. And the child takes on this belief that they are the reason the parent isn't happy, and that they do what they can to then fix that. The child believes that they are the problem, that they aren't good enough. And because of this theta state that a child naturally lives in, we all live in up until the ages of about 7 or 8 years old, this lays down the foundation for our adult lives. So this non-verbal communication that's received from the absent parent teaches the child they have to work hard for any attention. The child is also taught at this stage that they need to hang on, to wait for the attention from that parent. And this is why people do not move out of emotionally abusive relationships, because they were taught at a young age to wait. The sociopath or the narcissist or the emotionally abusive person is able to mimic cognitive empathy. They can see a situation might be distressing. They can't feel it, but they know it would be distressing. Their empathy is masked. The empath becomes codependent. They see and feel the wounds of the narcissist or the sociopath or the emotionally abusive person, and they believe they can save them. The empath recognizes these emotions, and they know the role they have been taught, taking a step back, putting the narcissist's needs or the sociopath or the emotionally abusive person's needs over their own. Again, this was taught to them as a child. If you're questioning whether you are the empath, you will need to learn how to understand which emotions are yours, which belong to other people. It might be romantic, it might be at work, it might be a client. But it's about understanding, does this belong to me? Is this how I'm feeling? Where does this come from? The empath has to be really careful about energy, as they can take on other people's emotions, wounds, and these situations can make you feel weird or feel off. You don't feel like yourself because you're not. You've taken on, I can only describe it like baggage, somebody else's baggage. Have you ever taken on something or reacted into something and thought, where is this emotion coming from? This isn't me. And these emotions or feelings are energy. They're energetic. Have you ever walked into a room exhausted and the energy levels lift you up? Or it might be the other way around. You come out and people have drained your energy. Everyone is affected by those around them. The narcissist is able to plug into the empath. That affects the empath and the way that they react. A lot of people coming out of these relationships experience emotions unfamiliar to them, reacting in a way they would never normally react. When I started on this journey of recovery, I watched a video on codependency. I really struggled with it. I was an empath, not codependent. It took me a while to understand I took on that role, and then to look further out at other relationships. I'd been on my spiritual journey for 2 decades or more. It took me a long time to admit that I wasn't just an empath, but I was a codependent. And this was a pivotal moment in my healing. It took me time to work through various stages of how this happened and why. And I needed to process the emotions and work out what was mine and what I had taken on. And then one day, as I was sorting through, I had this flash of understanding. That means I was codependent. If I was codependent, that means, and the breakthroughs continued. And I'd been working for a decade with wounds, and this understanding helped me go deeper with that work, which I now call the original wound. The empath is the healer, and the codependent is the fixer. An empath doesn't need to have any other person to be an empath. The codependent requires another person to be a as in co-parent or co-driver. Empaths and codependents have boundaries, but they learn at a young age that their needs come second to others. They are magnets to emotional abusers because the narcissist or the person that's higher up on the spectrum knows what treats are in store that will be handed to them. They love a boundary, knowing how easy they can knock them down. The easier it will be for them to take over the empath's life. The empath feels the pain of others. They feel the emotional void. They feel the abuser's experiences. During their childhood, the empath was taught their needs don't matter. They then start looking for the love that they should have received from their parent. They've learned to anticipate every need and want of their parents from a young age. During those crucial 7 to 8 years, their belief system was created, and they repeat these patterns in their relationships because this is their truth. The narcissist misses crucial development stages. They don't see themselves as a person, so their relationships are fused, as they don't know how to be an individual and function alone. You might have been asking, am I the narcissist? If you recognise yourself as the empath, it's likely you have taken on a lot of emotions of the abuser. You may never have felt whole during your life. You may have hidden parts of your personality, who you really were as a child, for self-preservation. And this might be why you feel the way you do. Perhaps you don't even know who you are. If each person you've been in a relationship with has left a broken part of themselves, then telling you that you're the broken one, you may believe this. You very possibly received similar messages growing up. It's really common to come out of these relationships feeling lonely and that you have lost everything. This is a temporary state. The abuser knew you were going to spot their wounds and you were going to want to heal them. The narcissist creates so much drama and you end up walking on eggshells. Your body does become suspended. You might even have an out-of-body experience that goes on for weeks, months, even years, watching your life just from outside your body, not being in it fully. Your mind and your soul and your body are in a state of suspension, perhaps frozen in fear. You will learn to thaw out. But this moment can be pivotal for you, as it was for me. When your life has been consumed by the needs of others from a very young age, you may not know who you actually are. Your mind, which has hibernated to protect itself, starts to thaw out. And you can start to take this time to reparent yourself. And this is one of my favourite parts of the work that I do. Being your own personal mother, father, you're being your own person. Being your own cheerleader, you are also able to start being the person that you were born to be, not the one that you hid away for fear. Fear perhaps of abandonment, fear of shame that they might receive, or fear of betrayal. So are you an empath, a codependent, or a narcissist? I hope you found this video helpful in some way. Please like and share with anyone who you believe might benefit from hearing it. I will link all my details below in the description box, and I'm sending you loads and loads of love until next time.